Well, hey there everyone, and welcome back, or two if this is your first time, Rapid Plays The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. And if it is your first time, I would recommend probably stopping the video here and going and watching the previous 4 episodes just to catch up and get an idea for the story, because I'm not, unlike some other things I've done this year, I'm not going to go back over what we have done. So yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to watch those, but yeah, for those of you that have been following the series and were waiting in anticipation for the 5th episode, I can only apologise to you guys, because yeah, you've had to wait for about a year. When last I was on here, I had promised you guys that episode 5 would be the last one during Zelda Month 2021 for some time. Unfortunately, I didn't get round to doing that, and there's a very funny but not funny reason as to why, and I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. So, after the last episode, I went to save my game, as you do, so that I could pick up at a different point where I left off. That's why we save games, right? Well, one thing I didn't account for was loading up a previous save. Rather than save my game, because if you don't already know, I am playing this off of the Wii U, so this is a Nintendo eShop version of the Game Boy Advance Classic, and as such, Nintendo kind of used their own emulator to run this game. And as with most emulators, probably all emulators in fact, there are save states, or the ability to save your game without doing so via normal means. Not that it's a difficult task to do when it comes to this game, because all you need to do is press start and go to the save option in your menu, but even doing something as simple as that, it was too much of a daunting task apparently. I got used to save states, and yeah, that just, yeah, you shouldn't rely on save states, because bad things happen. So rather than save my game as I normally would, or as you do normally through this game, I loaded up a previous save state, which sent me back to well before episode 3. And yeah, you can already see where this is going. So I thought, oh no, I'm all the way back here. That's fine, I can just load up the game as I normally would, and everything will be fine again. Well, obviously it wasn't. I'd forgotten that since the end of episode 2, I hadn't been using the proper means to save the game. So, yeah, I didn't want to go all the way back and do the whole game again, or at least half of the game again. I didn't have the time last year to do so, and yeah, I can only apologise. I mean, I had other stuff on, both in my personal life and with the channel itself, that Minish Cap just took a back seat. But we're here now, after all that, we're here now, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of the series as we go forward. Now, I'm not sure how far we will get. This Zelda month, I am planning to do a whole 8 episodes. So, counting this as episode 1, technically it says episode 5, which it still is, but from this point forward until the end of the month, there will be 8 in total for this game. So whether or not we finish the game remains to be seen, but we can only hope. We can only hope. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, I want to apologise also for a second thing that has just came about very recently, and it's something I couldn't have accounted for, but I have had a bit of a sore throat. See, a tickly cough, you know how they say like a frog in your throat? A frog, I can't even speak, a frog in your throat. That's kind of like what I've been experiencing since the start of this recording, and yeah, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. You might hear my voice trail off a little bit. I haven't got the cold or anything like that. It's just came on all of a sudden. I hope I've not got the cold. I've been fine all day. I've been fine all day. But yeah, you must also be wondering why we are at Mount Crenel again. And well, there's a few things, more than a few things in fact, that I did not do on our last playthrough that I want to make sure that we've got done, and a number of things that we have done that I'm going to need to redo. Don't worry, there's not too much, but it does involve some kinstone pieces, and just up above us there is a hermit, which we fused a kinstone piece with last time we were on, and the reason I'm going to redo it is because, given everything that I've spoke about, because of the whole save state scenario, the game seems to not have picked up the layout for the Kinstone side quest. Like, we had activated that quest, I think, possibly episode 3. I think it would have been episode 3. And once you kick off that side quest, once you get that started up, a trail begins, you know, like if you fuse one Kinstone piece, there is going to be a set order from that point forward. Well, because we hadn't done that, and we'd gone back to before that was even a thing, I think the game has just taken another random layout of its Kinstone side quest, puzzle, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. I can't think of the proper name, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the game's reset all of that, and so the results and Kinstone pieces, for that matter, could be different. Like, I've fused with this guy before. I can't remember what piece it was, whether it was the same colour, but the results tend to be different as well. Like, whatever reward you get could be different. If you 100% the game, obviously, at some point you will get all the rewards that's in the game. It's just a different order. Now, I'm not sure if this is what we got last time, because this is my second attempt at redoing this game. Like, I had to go back and really reset the whole thing, starting from the opening of the game. Why, you may ask, did I do that? Well, I've got another funny story for you. This episode is just going to be full of funny mistakes and whatever, because yeah, the last one I've got to tell you is, after everything that I'd gone through, after everything that we'd gone through with the whole save state scenario, I began to pick up this game again about a couple of weeks ago and start to record for it once more. But I had some problems with audio, and I'd saved the game maybe 20 minutes in, so at least a good half of the episode, 20 minutes in, and I'd already done enough to fill up half an episode that, you know, was worth you guys not missing out on, even though I hadn't done any major quests or anything, but it was still stuff that I consider, you know, I want it to be part of the main series. I want you guys to try and get as much from this as possible, even if it's something small like finding out where a heart piece is, or a Kinstone fusion or something. You guys might as well see that and not miss out, right? So yeah, I had done some of that stuff and then saved the game. But then going back to the recording, watching over it and realising that my voice was being drowned out by the game itself. So yeah, there was no way to go back. I think I'd used both the save state and the save game feature just to be extra sure that you know, I couldn't mess anything else up, and I still did. So yeah, I've had a hell of a time trying to get back into this, but now we are here once more, and what I've been going for roughly, I don't know, I can't see the timer, about 10 minutes. Let's just say about 10 minutes. That's not including anything that I may have edited down. So yeah, you can see that I've definitely had my fair share of troubles with this game, but we're here, right? We're gonna push on, and we're gonna do what we can, however we can, in the quickest time possible, right? We've only got 8 episodes, as I said. So yeah, this episode, I don't think we're gonna go into any dungeons specifically, but we will explore. We will try and explore and pick up a few pieces here and there. We can try and I better make sure I save my game. I will check I've already checked the audio actually before we started, so that's all good. But yeah, thank God for save states as well. But no, seriously, we're going to just get on with this now, and we're going to try our very best to get as far as we can in the next 8 episodes. Now again, we're not going to get to a dungeon, I don't think, on this episode, but we will try and get as much of the side quest stuff done as possible. That involves a lot of kinstone pieces and heart pieces and whatnot, and you know, it's good to have a lot of hearts going forward, because the game's just going to get tougher. You know, if you have played a Zelda game before, you will know, obviously, as any game tends to do, it gets tougher the farther on you go. So yeah, there's quite a lot, as I say, to explore, a lot to try and find. We have already been here in part, but I did forget that there was another heart piece. I mean, a lot of areas become accessible to you once you get the right item, of course, and that's the same with a lot of games, right? It's the same with most games. But yeah, I mean, all we're going to be doing really, as I say, is just exploring, grabbing items. If you're really looking for a story, you might want to probably skip to the next episode if we get there. I guess this is just kind of stocking up, if you will. And I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe there will be some time for you know, like main story stuff happening here as well, because there will be the odd cutscene from time to time, and yeah, some important stuff thrown in between. But like, yeah, if you're just looking for like a walkthrough on how to get through certain dungeons or whatever, then this might not be the episode for you. But if you're here just to enjoy the experience, as I am, then great. You know, more power to you. There's a lot of areas that I'm realising now that I'm wasting time over. I'm not really needing to be here. I'm kind of just trying to find my way and remember where to go. A lot of the times I'll just bump into like a dead end, or come up against a dead end or whatever. But yeah, now and again I will find something useful going forward. There's only so much you can do at this point right enough. I mean, the whole world map isn't open to us yet. We have a few things that we might need to grab before we can explore the full map. But to be honest, I think most of it might be done. I think most of what I wanted to do might be done by now, and it's only, what, 15 minutes, give or take. I don't know. I'm going to stop referencing or putting in timestamps, because it's going to be completely different from the finished episode anyway, so like there's just no point. I'm just rambling. That's really what I'm doing. But there we go, we've got the big wallet. The last fairy gave us the bigger bomb bag. I wasn't really concentrating on what was happening in game myself, more about what was happening outside, and kind of catching you guys up on the story. But yeah, the fairy fountains in this game work much like they do in certain Zelda games in the series, where they give you items or item upgrades. Back at Hyrule Town, which by the way is also different in every iteration of Zelda. The layout of the land is different, like the castle could be in a different spot, like, I don't know, like Hylia might have changed direction, or, you know, it's just the little things. Again, this is a prequel to the likes of Ocarina of Time, but yeah, it always I don't know why I was trying to stab him with the sword. It always amazes me that you know, Hyrule as a place kind of changes. I don't know if it's like magical or whatever. I know there's like magic in Hyrule, right? Because if you've ever played a Zelda game, half of the things are done through magic. But does it mean that the land is magic too? Does it mean that it changes its the layout? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. It always kind of made me wonder, like, what's the deal? What's the deal? Why is everything not where it should be? You know, you go from one Zelda game to the next and you're like, well, this placement is not right. And I think it's more prominent in, like, Breath of the Wild, which is the latest game in the Zelda series as of the time of this recording. But what they did with that game is they made it open world. If you haven't played it before, I'm sure you've played it by now. I mean, it's been out a good few years. But yeah, they made it open world, and they threw in an odd reference to different places throughout the Zelda series. You know, kind of dotted about the map here and there. And even that game, the layout of the map doesn't quite match up to, you know, placements of where these places like Lake Hylia and stuff were before. I mean, I think I'm just rambling again, but you know, if you know what I mean, like if you get what I'm talking about, you can leave it down in the comments and maybe we can discuss. But oh, hold on, I think there's something happening here right now, because I wasn't able to move there. But yeah, there's definitely something happening in the direction of the castle. I guess we should go and see what is happening. Oh, of course, it's this guy. Yeah, whenever this guy's around, nothing ever good comes of it. Yeah, and the king's eyesight must be pretty poor. You know, because he's not standing that far away. He's like, I don't know, maybe a couple of meters away. And you can't tell that the only weirdo dressed like that, the only one you've ever seen, is the villain of the story, Vaati. But yet you still couldn't tell who it was. Maybe the king's eyesight is pretty poor. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. The king is old after all. But yeah, I guess Vaati seems to have got some kind of hold on the king, because yeah, I think I just spoiled that for you. I think I just spoiled it for you before it actually came up. Trust me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got a bit of ahead of myself. That's what happens when you don't pay attention to what's actually on screen rapid. Yeah, so, okay. Vaati has some kind of hold over the king, but I'm sure you could tell that he was up to no good anyway. So now he's got control of the king, and he's going to send his guards even, out to find this light force, apparently. And of course we're back, and you know, we're just like, oh, maybe it was a wind, I don't know. I got that uneasy moment that something wasn't quite right, but never mind. I don't really know if I'm headed in the right direction, but I'm gonna try this anyway and see. Nope. You got anything useful for us though? Oh yeah, yeah, you've got the planted bean near your house. I forgot, yeah, you can make... I think kinstone pieces make beanstalks as well, which, you know, as you can imagine, sends you up towards the clouds, where there's, I think, chests and stuff, rupees or whatever, kind of sitting above the clouds for you to collect. It doesn't make any sense how a chest can sit on a cloud and not fall through it, but hey, this is Zelda. We did speak about magic a few minutes ago. Maybe that explains a lot. Magic clouds that hold chests and rupees and whatnot. But anyway, we're here at the Caster Wilds. Basically the swamp. I just call it the swamp for short. So if I say the swamp in future, it is basically the swampland anyway, as you can see. But that's what I'll be referring to. I'll be referring to the Caster Wilds. And this does hold the next element. Or at least that's what we are being told here. And there doesn't seem to be a way safely to travel, so we're going to try and just go through the damn swamp. I wouldn't recommend that right enough, but yeah. Anyway, your feet are sinking, your feet are sinking. You may have told us that, you know, while it was happening, not after it's already happened. Sorry, I pressed it too quickly. I usually let you guys read what's happening on the screen because I don't narrate. I don't like narrating, right? I can barely speak English, never mind reading English. And I always feel like if I go to read something, I get very nervous doing it, especially in front of a crowd. So I always mess up. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, I feel like I just embarrass myself trying to narrate something. So I do applaud everyone who does playthroughs that narrate the story, because those I find enjoyable to watch. Some are cringy though, like the ones that put on voices for, like, I don't know, female characters for example, and it could be like a male host for the show, for the playthrough, shall we say, but they go very high pitched and squawky, and it just doesn't suit at all. It's just like, you know, I applaud your effort, but no, just don't. Right, quit while you're ahead. But there are some, both male and female, that do some pretty good voice acting. Some surprising results as well, I might add. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I don't do. So yeah, we now need to find a way to cross the swamp, and I think this guy possibly might have some kind of answer for us. And of course I can't skip this. This is like a scripted thing. It has to be done. I guess it's like the first time that we're doing this inside a house in the town, so yeah, that's probably why. But yeah, so we will be able to like turn small whenever we find a pot like that. We'll be able to turn small and travel to secret areas and talk to the Minish that are hiding throughout. You know, you get the gist. This is the main gimmick of this game, is that you can turn small, and if they only limited it to one part of the game, it wouldn't really be much of a game then, would it? I'm assuming that, you know, you would know these creatures, these Minish, are hidden everywhere. I don't need to kind of explain that to you, but I do anyway. Okay, so apparently we need the Pegasus boots, and this guy here who's fallen asleep is the one to be able to do that for us. However, the problem is he's fallen into a deep sleep. And yeah, there's not a lot to do but try and find a way to wake him up. And that's what we're about to go and try and do. Now, the only reason I'm telling you this firsthand is, even though it's on screen in a roundabout way, is because I've done this before. I've done this before, I don't know how many times, but I'm well educated on what we have to do. And you know what, I do like coming back and playing a lot of these games. It's fun. It's why I started this channel. It gives me a chance to come back and play a lot of beloved, I guess you'd call them treasures, you know, beloved treasures of mine, where, you know, it brings back so many memories, and there's just so many games that I want to show you guys and share if you have never seen them before, and to see what you think of them if you've never seen them before, or even if you have and it's just kind of like reliving memories for you as well. It's kind of nice. So, as we can see here at the ranch, things seem to have changed. I can't remember the character's name, but I'm sure he was it Talon? I think it was Talon in Ocarina of Time. I'm not sure if that's his name here, but we'll call him Talon for the sake of it anyway. Apparently, his key is in here somewhere. His key is in here somewhere. Oh, look what I found. The key. Wait a minute, why can't I open the door? Can't open the door from the side. I guess we have to give him the key and he opens the door, right? Silly, but okay. I guess we should just give him the key and move on, right? Let's give him the key. But now we're free to cut through his house. That's very nice of him, right? Very generous. Come visit us again. Oh, I'm going to visit you right now because apparently I need to. Wait a minute. I think no, we do. We do need to come here, right? Because the witch is here. The witch, Syrup the witch. I'm sure she's here. I think she must be. Although I'm not sure that's her house. I'm sure that's the mayor's house that you talk to. But well, you know what? Since we're here, we'll talk to the dog. And the dog. Let's see. Okay, first before we fuse any stones, we'll see what the dog has to say. Right. So the dog. My master Stockwell. I thought the dog's name was Stockwell for a second there. No. Okay, so Stockwell has been coming home far too late to play with me. I'm not going to read all this. I'm starting to do it. But yeah. Okay. So even animals. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but even animals, pets, and whatnot, they can fuse kinstone pieces as well. Who knew? But you know what? Whatever. It's Zelda. Everything's magic in Zelda. It's so magic in Zelda that the landscape itself changes from time to time. I just feel like I've been doing a lot of pointless rambling this episode. Like, I'm just having an excuse to talk about unrelated things and do things that don't necessarily advance the adventure much, but are helpful. Like, you know, going to get heart pieces and whatnot. Of course, we are on the right path. I mean, we still need to find out where the witch is, but I don't think I'm making the best job at it here. I think I could be doing this a lot faster. I'm just wasting a lot of time. But then, in saying that, if I do it half the things now, I won't need to do them later, right? We should probably get that as well, so we don't have to keep traipsing across the house. Traipsing through the house, not across the house. We're not exactly going through. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so more exploring, more kinstone pieces, the usual. Okay, now we're not going to be able to get over there, unfortunately, for that heart piece, but we do have another way to go, and it's down here. For the end of this episode, I'd like to get the boots. Get the boots so that we can go straight to the swamp or through the swamp and prepare ourselves for the next dungeon. That'd be ideal. And to think, like, if I'd done this episode last year, like if I'd ended on this last year, the episode would probably have been very different. I'd have started it off without, you know, talking about the wrong things that I had done involving this game itself, like save states and whatnot, I mean, I would have had a perfect run at the game without messing it up. That would have kind of cut out the first 15 minutes of the episode, that rant, but no, I think things would have been very different overall. I think we would have got through things a lot faster as well, without having to redo a couple of things. But we've made it here to Syrup, that was her name right, at least I got her name right, Syrup the Witch, and yeah, we want to take this mushroom with us. We want to take this mushroom with us because it has magic abilities like everything else. Wake up mushroom. 60 rupees, that's a bit expensive for a mushroom, but fine, you can have it. Because we kind of need it, you're lucky. Then again, I don't know what the equivalent of 60 rupees are in, like, pounds, for example, or dollars. Like, I'm obviously from the UK, so we use pound sterling here. But, you know, from, like, wherever you're watching from, whatever the equivalent of a rupee is, I wonder if it's like 1 rupee is £1 or like $1. Again, I'm just rambling about stuff. I don't, you know what, half the time I'm like, why don't I just shut up? You know? But I don't know, maybe the episode would be far more entertaining to watch if I did not speak, you know? Who knows? There's plenty of playthroughs on YouTube and the likes that do walkthroughs that don't involve any commentary at all. But I don't know, that's not really me. I kind of like, I want to have some fun, you know. I don't need to like take you on a step by step as to what I'm doing on screen. But you know, I do like to kind of have a chat and whatnot. Sometimes I'll say something that's relevant, and other times it's just kind of mishmash, let's skip over. But you know, we're playing a game that you might want to see a specific part, and I'm like talking jibber jabber. Anyway, we have another Kinstone Piece fusion here, and this one is like a big side quest. This is kicking off a separate big side quest that will be coming back to time and again. And for those of you that are fans of the Wind Waker, you might recognise this dude here. Well, maybe not specifically this dude, because again, the Wind Waker comes after Minish Cap, like thousands of years after, I think. Or maybe hundreds, but either way. Different link, different time. So, apparently we've got a new merchant that's set up shop in the town. And I guess, yeah, he's still stuck. I thought he kind of would have broke through that, but I guess not. I guess not. Anyway, we need to head back to the town. We'll go this way, since we'll be closer. And I guess before we do wrap things up, if it is about that time. Oh, hold on, did you have a... Yeah, you had one of those as well, right? Do I have your piece? Yes, I do, sir. Yes, Mr. Marshall, I have your piece. I wonder what you'll give us. You know what? It's hard to keep track of all the rewards. You would think that you could just do one fusion, go and get your reward. Sometimes it's easy to forget. Especially if you're doing a playthrough like me where you're breaking up your game into parts. And you don't want to focus on the one thing. Like, even if I could, sometimes you don't get the option. Sometimes you're blocked. Okay, he only sells you Kinstone pieces, which, to be fair, could be pretty handy, but we're not going to need any right now. At least not right now, for a while. But here we go. We're going to attempt to wake up. I forget what his name was, but we do have the mushroom. I don't think we can select the mushroom though. I'm sure we can do this way. I don't think you need to speak to him as an adult. Oh, not an adult, this is not Ocarina of Time. But as a fully grown boy. Because he's not a man. Link's not a man in this one, he's a child, so yeah, fully grown boy. I guess, possibly we do need to do it as a fully grown boy. Okie dokie then. Fine. Makes more sense, I suppose, because what are you going to do? Stick a tiny little mushroom up his nose? Yeah, terrifying smell. I guess that is why it did get its name, right? Well, no shit, Sherlock. Who else woke you up? Yeah, you do. You have something urgent to do. What now? Okay. Yeah, it's, you know what? I haven't really been following this, but it is, if you have been reading this is quite interesting. This guy, he is a hard worker, but he does fall asleep a lot. And the Minish are the ones that make a lot of his shoes while he sleeps. So, like, the Minish should get all the credit. Even though he doesn't know they're there, they should get all the credit. But yeah, he's been marked as the best shoemaker in the whole land. And it's not even him that does it. He doesn't even explain. He doesn't know how to explain when he goes to sleep and wakes up and there's a new pair of shoes lying there. Either way, I think there's like, I don't know if there's like a children's tale or something that's very similar to this, like the Shoemaker or something. I don't know. Something springs to mind. Maybe you can let me know in the comments below as well if this game has taken inspiration from something that is very similar. I don't know if I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking of. I don't even know if what I'm thinking of is even a thing, but the story element of, you know, some shoemaker, for example, it might not necessarily be a shoemaker, but falls asleep and then, is it the Boros? The Boros is a film, right? A film that, believe it or not, I have never really seen. I think it might be the Boros. Or I could be talking crap. But if you do know what I'm talking about, again, leave it down in the comments. Leave it down in the comments. I feel like I've exhausted myself talking about nothing but crap for the last 40 odd minutes. Again, really depends on the episode itself. I don't know at what point we are at, but I'm going to get to the swamp and try on our new shoes before we wrap things up here. And this bird is not for leaving us alone. Stupid bird. Anyway, yeah, let's try and get through this without... Oh, another one? Really? Really? Okay, this is why they give me a shield. They gave me a shield and I don't use it. Right, okay, I'm not taking your crap again. Right, okay, now we can try our shoes out. There we go, the Pegasus boots. And these are quite handy for a lot of things as well, outside of what we need to do. But we're gonna test this out, and yeah, I thought Ezlo spoke to you for a second there, but I guess he doesn't. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna leave it here, because I think what we're about to do is an episode in and of itself, right? Because, again, before editing all this episode down, and I probably will do it and find that, you know, the parts I want to keep only accumulate to about 20 minutes. Then, and only then, will I decide to add on to this. But I think I'm probably good. To leave that episode here for now. I'm fairly happy that we've got here. It was a filler episode. You know, not a hell of a lot going on, except little bits here and there. I'm kind of glad that we started with this one, because if we ended with this one last year when we were supposed to, it probably wouldn't have felt like a good enough kind of you know, an end to a series. It would have just felt like an extra, like an add-on, for example. At least last time we ended getting a second element, defeating another boss, whatever. You know, it just felt better to round off like that anyway. So, despite all my complaints, I'm probably happier it turned out this way. But all that being said, guys and girls, I am so happy that we are finally back doing this game and that we're done with this episode as well. It's been a year long coming. I mean, right now it's July for me. I know we're, you know, November is Zelda month, but for me I've got some spare time and it's, you know, I'm on holiday, it's nice outside. Well, too hot outside. That's why I'm staying in. You know, staying safe. But thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me here. If you enjoyed this content, and I would be very surprised if you did, please drop us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. All that jazz, all that good stuff. And, you know, maybe hit that notification bell if you want to be notified as to when other stuff does go up on the channel as well. And tomorrow is the start of my live playthrough for the original Legend of Zelda, which I have never completed before, so that'll be interesting. And then of course we'll be back with Minish Cap on Thursday. So yeah, a lot of Zelda stuff in the next couple of days. But thanks once again for joining me here. It has been a pleasure as always, and I will catch you for the next one. Stay cool.